Welcome to Arsenal Above All. It's another weekend with another big win for the Arsenal team in the I call it monstrosity of a kit. The black and yellow, and we've taken homage to that with the different coloured titles. But I still don't like it. Still won't be getting that kit. But it don't matter. It doesn't matter what we wear. We're going around smacking teams away from home. 6 last week, 5 this week. We've got Porto midweek, so they're on notice. They've been warned. They're playing at the moment. I'm sure they've got one eye on the Champions League last 16 game. We've got that to talk about, and obviously the performance today. And I'm delighted to have Malcom, the Mac Ackah, back to talk about that and everything else. So before all of that, let's go. Good evening. Welcome to the show, Mac. How you doing, man? It's great to have you back. We've been trying to get you back for the longest of times, but you're a busy man. Busy man. But great to have you back. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good. And it's good to be back. To be honest, it's lovely to be here. Nice to be able to contribute and have the time to do it as well. I mean, obviously, a lot's happened between the last time, but obviously, we're always talking behind the scenes. Yeah. But it's great to be here and to talk about some positive news.
Absolutely. Oh, it's been amazing. What an amazing start to the year. It has been since the end of the previous year, with the results, obviously, as we know, it looked like the wheels had properly fallen off. But who knew? All it took was a 12-day, 10-day break to a sunny place with some gold leaf steak being to Mikel Arteta, and like a new team. It's like pre-season all over again. The sun's shining, and we're playing some sunshine football. But appreciate your time. Always appreciate your time coming on. And again, delighted to have you back, Mac. So let's get into it. So we beat Burnley quite convincingly again this afternoon. Pretty much the same as the game against West Ham, where when you look at the stats, we didn't restrict them to a shot on target, and I believe that's the last 3 games in the Premier League. We have only allowed 2 shots on target, which is kind of insane, and and we'll touch on the whole defensive aspect of that at the end, and just how this mentality, the attitude of the team in terms of defensively as well as going forward has just been so ferocious. But we'll start with the lineup, Mac. Obviously, no changes, which you could pretty much say, well, there doesn't need to be any changes after performance like there was last weekend. But is the thing that we should be looking at is the bench and who we can call upon, especially with the games that we've got coming up, because again, there was no Tomiyasu. Again, there was no Thomas Partey. Again, there was no Zinchenko or Jesus, who seemed to have fallen off the radar. We were told when the injury news came through, it was only a couple of days, or it would be a week. He'll be back. There's no problems, and it's obviously stretched longer than that. Is that the worry and concern? Obviously, the first 11 are playing so well and all hit form, but is the concern where it could, if 1 or 2 injuries are picked up, it's just the resources that we have to pick on, and how vital it is that we get one of those guys back, sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not convinced that we won't be okay. Now I know that might be an unpopular view, but I think that some of the people that are missing have been missing for so long, or when they are around, they are actually a weak link. I think that meme, didn't I, about Jesus and Zinni? let's look at the situation. So the main players who were quite instrumental last year. Thomas Partey is no longer a starter anyway, regardless, and he's been injured long term. We know he was going to go to Saudi or one of these places, and then he decided to stay and help us fight, but he hasn't fought at all. Timber, we know he's now, regardless of what anybody says, right, and no matter what the kind of narrative is, he's out for the whole season, right? Let's not make any bones about that. Okay, let's not pretend he's going to come back. Yes, I know you got excited, didn't you, when he's on the Champions League list? He's not coming back. Simple as that.
Yes.
Just accept it. Because why would you
crush my spirit? You crushed all my hopes and dreams with that message, Matt. I have to say, I was devastated. But you know, you're speaking wisdom anyway. So yeah, go on, man.
Yeah, because the thing about it is that why would you risk him when you know that next season he's literally like a new signing? You've literally got a fresh left back, you know, and this is lots of options. Leave him to rest. We're doing fine without him. So Tommy is the biggest concern out of all the people you're talking about. However, I would say Kirill is coming. He's been amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's doing the things that he's been after. When he started, he's obviously a bit all over the place, bit unsure of himself. But I mean, obviously, we're talking about him today. He was doing exactly what Zinni does, but did it better because he's tall, he's young, he's strong. You know, he's coming in. He's coming into those spaces that we need up front and filling them and getting the shift and putting a shift and then getting the balls. And even we're trying to get him for a shot or so. You know, this is what we need. So he's better Zinni. Zinni's injured, fine. But Tommy is the biggest one because if Kirill gets injured, Zinchenko has been injured on and off all through the season. Then we haven't got someone of good quality in that position because all we've got is Cedric. Oh god! How many times have we tried to sell that guy and he doesn't want to go because he wants to get his last big wage? So of all the people that are missing, I would say him. Jesus, we're not missing.
Yeah.
So you know, Jesus does not score goals, and Trossard is doing brilliantly in that position. So you know, we don't need Jesus back. I'm sorry to say. So yeah, I think only Tommy is the one. But we always knew that we are a fragile team. If one person gets injured, as we know last year, Saliba, if we get the quality player, the top quality players injured, then we're in trouble. But that was always going to be the risk. But we've got to play with what we've got. You know, you deal the hand you're dealt with, right?
Yeah. I definitely hear that. Yeah. It looks like we're going to extend Tomiyasu's contract or going to give him a new deal. And
quality player.
Yeah, because he can cover so many, you know, spots in the back line. He can do all across the whole back line literally. So the only worry is like you know, to get him back. I mean, I think Saliba's played every minute in the Premier League. I think he's played in all the Champions League games. I can't remember if he played against PSV as well in the dead rubber, the game that we didn't need to play. I can't remember if it was him and Kivior or was it Kivior and Gabriel. I can't remember off the top of my head. And the game we lost to West Ham, I think he was on the bench for that, possibly. So he's played literally every game. And I think he's not been as sharp as the last couple of games. I think he got rolled in the game today against Fofana in the first half. Gabriel has definitely been the one since the restart who's been more on form. I think Saliba just showed little signs of maybe mental tiredness a little bit. You know, physically he's still, you know, there. But again, we don't, you know, it'd be great to have someone like Tomiyasu who you know has got the quality, to come in and maybe play in a particular home game against somebody. You know.
Or away, we got Sheffield United, haven't we? We got Sheffield United.
Sheffield United away coming up. Yeah,
that's a good rest game, isn't it? But
so that's the thing with, you know, you just don't want him to overstretch and get, because this is the point where he kind of got injured last year, wasn't it? It was when he played Sporting Lisbon, I think in the knockout stages as well. So that's the kind of only worry for me. But I think you're absolutely right. Getting Tomiyasu back would be the key one. I don't think, you know, what's happened with Zinchenko and how he's played. Kivior is even though he has bombed on a few times, I think he's been a bit more, not so much inverted, whereas it's been Ben White on the other side. But yeah, it is a bit worrying that you're still relying on someone like Cedric to come in and get minutes.
Yeah.
And not the kid, Walters. You know, he can't be that much of a prospect for him to actually not get minutes in that situation. And he's relying on someone who we've tried to, as you said, we've tried to get rid of him, and he's still coming on and getting minutes. So that's a worry as well. But again, obviously, if Tommy Asu was fit, he wouldn't be anywhere near match day squad. So, but that's the kind of way for me. You know, the lineup was absolutely fine, but it's just I think now we need to get some of these guys back, and I think Thomas Partey, he last started the game in August or September, which is crazy. So yeah, you're right. I think in the summer, I think he's definitely going to go. He's gone. But obviously, the players, we can focus on the players that are available to us, and thank God they are. And one of them is Martin Odegaard, who again was just like an conductor today. Was absolutely superb. Showed the levels of confidence, but his ability just to get into space. There's this argument, obviously, on Twitter about his numbers and Mesut Ozil's. And the fact that, you know, the difference with him is just his perpetual motion, his work rate, his closing down is just absolutely phenomenal. But the goal at the start, you know, 4 minutes into the game, wasn't it? You know, pretty cold. And the technique to put that away. And again, getting assists as well today. But yeah, what do you think of his performance? And there's still some doubters about Odegaard, strangely enough. But what's your thoughts on his performance and just how he just seems to, as well as others, just getting into some amazing form just at the right time? Because it's crazy now that we're talking of this being. It's almost like each season, the business end of the season starts earlier and earlier, just because we know Man City are capable of what they're doing. Which is funny that they dropped points today, right? But because of the standards they've set and what Liverpool have done in a couple of seasons, it's like everything has to start a little bit earlier. But it's great that they've dropped points today. But what was your thoughts on Odegaard's performance?
You know, there's a couple of things. So but before I get to Odegaard as well, I'd just like to say about the situation with at the back, right? So with the situation with, you know, you talked about the various people, Cedric and stuff like that. One thing we've seen before we get into Odegaard is that Arteta is risk averse, and that's why he's playing Cedric Suarez. It's not because the other guys are not capable. He says he's risk averse, and it almost makes you think if he was around, right, as an Arteta when Saka was coming up and Smith Rowe, I guarantee they wouldn't have made minutes, 100%. And that is the crux of the matter. That he's that's why he's not prepared to risk Ethan until we're like 6-0 up. You know, Ethan Nwaneri, who should be playing. He should be playing every game, should be putting on the minutes every single game. And it's not happening. But I guarantee it, if it was a different manager, he'll be playing them all the time. This kid should be playing. This kid should be working towards being a first team member. He should be competing for the places that other people are playing in. But he's not. So that's what I'd like to say on that. So this is the quick thing on that. I mean,
was it in the squad today? Was he? Yeah, he wasn't in the squad today, was he? I don't know whether that was because he had a knock or something, but yeah, he wasn't in. You know,
I just think he's risk averse. I think he was worried that Burnley were going to do the low block, and they've obviously got big guys. They've always been very physical. So I think that's you know, obviously he's a very tactical player, short guy though. So that's what I think about that. Going back to Odegaard, so I apologize. I just wanted to put that in there. Martin Odegaard, I don't care what the haters say, right? He's our guy, right? Yeah. This guy has got world-class qualities, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, you just had a picture of his goal. I mean, the touch to put that ball, the calmness. Now, obviously, let's not flatter ourselves too much. It was Burnley, and they were ball watching for the first. Literally, I don't know if I texted you, but we were literally at a walking pace at one point. After the first 5 minutes of running about, you know, getting themselves busy, they literally down to walking place once we just completely control. And they realized that we are so good at the intricate passing. His touch, first touch, control, to get it bang right in that corner and like an arrow. I mean, this guy's world class. There's a reason why he was one of the youngest players ever to play for Real Madrid. And they obviously, missed something there. Imagine he was there now with Bellingham and stuff. But I don't care what anybody says. Everybody goes up and down. Everybody has blips. Everyone has injuries. Everyone has knocks. Lots of stuff in the background we don't know about. He is absolute world class. There's a reason why he's captain of Arsenal above all else, and there's a reason why he's the captain of Norway, Denmark. Which one is it? Is it Denmark? Norway.
Yeah.
Norway. Sorry, Norway. There's a reason why he's the captain of Norway. This guy is a captain because of his qualities as a leader and as a player. I don't care what anybody says. Now, you're right. The goals haven't come. We know the goals haven't come. We know that this season's been dry for him. Last season he was scoring for fun, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As long as he's contributing, which he is, and he's playing, like I said, that quarterback kind of role, that kind of in the center, controlling things. His control of the ball, the way he runs past people, the way he gets the ball back, forget it. Yeah. He's first name on the team sheet above anybody else because everything has to go through him. The team has to be created around him. I know we've got obviously lots of amazing players, but he has to be the first name on the team sheet.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. Again, he's probably had the more, you said the eye test. People say Saka's kind of been on a down season, even though the numbers he's pushing now. I think the first half of the season, you could probably say that it looked like he was carrying an injury.
Yeah,
it wasn't right. And with Odegaard, he was always showing and always, trying to get his numbers up and get himself involved in some patterns. But the thing was that he was creating chances. He's up there with the most created chances this season in Europe. But we were just not putting the ball in the back in it. You look
exactly.
at
no one was.
Yeah, and then there's some of the chances that we had against Liverpool, obviously in the FA Cup, which he should have scored one. He hit the bar when it was easy to score and things like that. But yeah, it's great that he's, as you said, it's not always about what scoring goals. There's a lot of people look at the goals and don't look at anything else, but you look at everything else. What he brings to the team, as you said, is his drive, his press. The guy who runs like marathons, every game, and then you've got Declan Rice next to him, who does the same. It's just incredible, really. We've got those two there. All that work. You've got Havertz in there who doesn't do it as that much, or it doesn't seem like he does to do that much of that effort, but he does. The numbers tell you that the guy does cover ground. But it's great that sort of little Bermuda triangle that we've got on the right hand side seems to be getting a lot of people lost and disappeared. A lot of fullbacks are disappearing in that triangle again with Ben White, because Ben White looks like he's back. He's been charged up by the sun ray. He loves the sun.
Yeah, they all are.
And him and
there's
Saka
something in the Dubai water, most definitely.
But it's amazing how this guy is doing the overlaps. You compare him to the first part of the season. He wasn't doing it at all. He just, again, it looked like he might have been carrying something because he was restricting himself, making his own runs. He's doing it all the time now. He looks stronger. And then you look at Saka as well, who is kind of taking it. I sent the Michael Jordan pic to you about taking it personally. It looks like he has, with all the chat about Foden, saying with
it's all nonsense.
But no, it looks like he's definitely taken this thing personally with how he's performed since the restart as well. He's bagging in goals. His goals and assist numbers are just going through the roof. Again, I just think that when you look at his numbers compared to everybody else's of his age group, I think a lot. I've been victim of it. I've done it to him as well. I've said maybe been a bit down on him when he almost taken it for granted. And I think that's sometimes what the Arsenal fan base do. We take players for granted. When you hear other fans of other clubs talking about our players, and you realize how good he is. But his numbers. I mean, people saying is he world class? Is he not? Is Foden better than him? Is he not? Rio Ferdinand thinks Foden is world class. And ahead of Saka, but when he was given his England team, who would he play up front, or who would he play in an attacking three? he didn't have Foden there. He put Saka there instead of Foden. So work that out. I don't know. You know,
it's
know
all
what I mean?
part of the narrative for me. I think that that's all media driven. There's no way Foden's better than Saka. No way on this earth. Foden has one good game and 3 bad games. I mean, today was all over the place. All over the place against Chelsea. We're talking about consistency. If you're world class, week in, week out, you do the business. Whether you score or you don't score. Saka is doing that. Okay. We know he had a bad start to the season. We know, but they all did. But he's doing it week in, week out. Foden isn't. He had a good game, I think, last week, or whatever. But this week, I watched him against Chelsea, and he was all over the place. It was the board. Well, all of them were all over the place. That we can't take it for granted what Saka's in. And he's a kid. His body is growing. His bones are growing. He's growing stronger. I think he struggled with the low block at the start of the season because you know he just couldn't get past people. They were putting 2 on him, whatever, 1 on him, just like literally not even looking at the board, just blocking him. And I think he's realized that actually I need to grow and I need to deal with the situation as opposed to just moaning and complaining about it. Because that's, I think, what was really going on. It's all in his head.
Yeah.
But now he's very much like, I don't care, I'm going for it. And you see him, even he's got that bit of nastiness, which you need.
Yeah. Yeah, he picked up a yellow card today, which was a joke yellow card, really. Yeah. I mean, the referee said it was a foul. It wasn't. It was a shoulder barge, you know. He just strengthened the guy out, and then he kicks the ball away. The referee books him for that. Yeah, it was just pure nonsense. But it's just his finishing off the second goal as well.
Yeah.
You know, just the way he's just hitting through the ball, a bit like the goal he scored last week against West Ham.
Aggression.
Just
so they're all aggressive. Look at the Martinelli goal against Liverpool. I mean, literally, he's like half the size of Virgil van Dijk, and he bounced that boy. And then you know, this is what it's about. And I think what's ever happened in Dubai, they've had a massive chat. And Arteta told them, you got to be nasty. You can't let these people push you around. People push you around. People make you roll around. People just think they can bully you. Don't let them bully you. And that's what's happened. They all seem to be back. And they're all a bit nasty, all a bit like, we're not taking this nonsense anymore. And that's why I think Saka's done so well. Martinelli wasn't scoring. Look at him now. Look at Trossard. Trossard couldn't hit a barn door, and he's scoring for fun. You know, it's all that bit of nasty. It's a bit of like, no, we don't care. Trossard hardly would run past anybody. He's running past everybody. The only person who's ever really running at people in recent times has been Odegaard. But now I see Trossard, I think, wow. I mean, that's incredible. You know, I don't know, like we keep referring back to Dubai, and I'd love to be a fly on the wall. I wish they recorded what happened there, but whatever it was magical.
Yeah, because, you know, like you said, I think the attacking is you know, it's evident. You know, you could see that obviously with the 11 goals in the last 2 games, and you know, the goals we scored.
And they don't stop scoring either.
No, well, the thing is just, you know, they we'll talk about the substitutions later on, because I think it was kind of Arteta maybe kind of helping his mate out, you know, a little bit. He didn't want to go 6 or 7 or 8, you know.
Of course.
We'll talk about obviously the couple of the names that came on and how the levels dropped. But for me, it's the ferociousness of the defending as well, which I haven't seen in an Arsenal team. The only time you see it in an Arsenal team, for me, is in a cup final or the last 10 minutes of a game, and you're throwing your bodies at the ball and you're trying to hang on. And you know, winning an FA Cup, you know, we've done that, you know, in the past, obviously against Chelsea and against Chelsea again. And Chelsea again in those finals. But this is like, you know, we're high-fiving, we're slapping each other on the back, you know, when we get a clearance against West Ham when we were 6-0 up. Today, you know, we're doing the same thing again, you know, when Gabriel gets a block, and towards the end, Burnley are attacking. I think it's a 93rd or 94th minute. Every player is sprinting behind the ball, and you just got a blanket of this yellow and black monstrosity kit all across the way.
I nearly bought that kit,
and I've got to get that in, because that kit's shocking. I don't know who Adidas thought that was just absolute nonsense. But you've got that wall there. You've got all these guys just breaking their neck to make sure that they don't score a goal.
Yeah.
And you look at the fixtures today, just as a snapshot. You know, the 2 Liverpool conceded. You know, City have conceded. You know,
Yeah.
and I think that's where it's going to boil down to.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've got the best
The
defense in the
intensity
league
is
now.
funny, isn't it? I wonder where they've got that intensity from because, like you said, that we usually, the Arsenal that we have had known for the last, especially few years, if we're ahead, we start to do what Chelsea did. And obviously, you know, we all know how that ends, where you're trying to defend the goal that you've got or the 2 goals you. And like I said, that picture there says it all for me. These boys have been, like, all of them have been world class, really. Ben White, I've never really fancied. They're messing around with his hair and all the rest of it, suntan lotion, but he's been a phenomenal. Obviously, Saliba, we've talked about. Gabriel has been the best centre back in the league this season. You know, it's about Virgil van Dijk, but Gabriel is definitely the best centre back in the league at the moment. Obviously, Declan Rice has made a difference to our team. Also, I miss Xhaka, but he didn't have the mobility of Declan Rice. And Declan Rice is obviously taller and stronger. Those guys have been phenomenal. But I think the bottom line is that there's, like I said, there's been that Dubai thing and sorted them out. It's just the energy levels. Then you know what the energy levels remind me of the Liverpool, like of a couple of years ago. You know, when they just would never stop. We have literally until that final whistle, we never stopped. We never stopped running for the ball. And that's an incredible amount of energy. Imagine what that takes to do that.
Yeah.
For 90 plus minutes. What was it? 10 minutes? Because that guy dislocated his knee or something.
Disappointing. Yeah, so you know, that was sad to see that, you know, young kid, Aaron Ramsey, you know, getting stretched off. And, you know, when we've obviously said that, had to say that in the past, haven't we? You know, Aaron Ramsey getting stretched off after a bad tackle. Obviously, it was him catching his knee or twisting it in the turf, wasn't it? I mean, it wasn't Odegaard's tackle. It was ramifications of that. So yeah, we obviously wish him well. Hopefully he makes a recovery. But it looked really bad, and hope he's all right. Obviously, I'm sure they'll Burnley will have him in the best treatment, best care. But yeah, just again there, you know, Odegaard, you know, challenging, you know, trying to get duels, and it's just great to see because you know 5-0 up, you think, okay, this is the second time. You know, last week was 6-0 up. It's like we could take our foot off the gas a little bit. It's like these guys realise, you know, the opportunity that's there. And maybe I think Saka said it last week. We sent some, you know, a bit of blood last week against West Ham. Maybe they can sense it, you know, in City, because you saw the way Klopp was celebrating. Today again, you know, doing his fist pumps. You saw the way Rodri was celebrating when he equalised. He was going mental. The guy was going mad because they know, you know, I think that result last week and our turn of form, and the fact that we've got results against City this season and Liverpool, I think these guys kind of know that, you know, it's not a shootout between you guys. If you guys want to blink, then hopefully we'll sneak in, you know, whilst you're kind of looking at each other and thinking it's between you, because that's what the media narrative wants. They want it to be, you know, the last dance, you know, with Pep and Klopp, and then them to walk off into the sunset holding hands and all that stuff. Yeah, because we get on so well and everything, you know, and that's what the whole media narrative want. They don't want these young upstarts. They don't want this guy who's been managing for 3 years or 4 years to come in and disrupt things. You know, he'll have his time, but it's about Klopp and Pep, you know, and just let these two have it. And you know, we're not having that. You know,
we're not reading that script. We're not reading that script. And I think as well, the thing about it is, because of the way and the manner in which we lost it last season and the backlash from everybody, I think these guys always had a point to prove. I think, like I said, that we started well, then we kind of dropped off. We've had our blip. I can't see any way that a team thrashes us or beats us. We may lose a game or two. We may, but it's going to take a lot to beat us. It'll take a lot. The teams that obviously beat us in that blip, you know, that was because of us, not because of them. You know, that kind of loss, I don't think is going to happen again. So I think we're in a very, very, very strong position. And I know we're going to talk about Champions League, but I personally am more interested in the league, and that's the one we need to win. We need to get the monk off our back. Everyone's going on about, he didn't win it since 2004. So this is what we need. This is what we need. We need to prove that over 38 games we can lift the big one. And it comes down to what we've talked about already: our injuries and our fitness level. The people who are playing right now can win the league for us, no doubt.
Yeah,
100%. We've got the team now that even with Havertz of all people, but obviously he's not playing in that kind of pressure position. But even with Havertz playing, he's having a great few games. By the way, I mean, okay, fair enough. He looked very good putting the nutmeg in and scoring. Okay,
yeah,
fine. I mean, obviously it made him look very, very good. And he's, but in his position, he has been very convincing, very convincing. And this is a great thing about it. He likes the big, tall, strong, tall like me, big 6'2+ guys. He loves those guys because he knows that they can hold up the ball. Everything. So we know the team we have at the moment can win us the league, but can all of them stay fit for all of the games we got left? Plus Champions League.
Yeah,
that remains to be seen, right?
Yeah, that's the worry. So that's why it all boils down to, yes, these guys we've got now, the 11, fantastic. They're all in great form, but we just need to get one or two of these guys back, so the bench is a bit, just a little bit deeper. Because that's what you're always looking at now. You're always looking at that bench and just seeing how things are. If we do need to get something going from the bench, and thankfully the last two games, especially, and so far this season, we haven't really needed to worry about that too much. The guys on the field have kind of done the job. I mean, I know Trossard came on against Liverpool late on and got the third one. So, but talking on about the bench. Eddie Nketiah comes on, and
he's my guy.
Yeah, Eddie, and he's a trier, isn't he? But the
thing about him,
go on.
The thing about him, right? And I love you. The thing about him is he's been given so much opportunity. He is literally the guy who's been given triple the Christmas presents of everyone else. The opportunity this guy has had, and literally to start every game. Jesus has been out for so many times through this season and last season. He had a few good games last season, helped us a few of the United, obviously Chelsea game. But he's had so many opportunities to prove to us and to the league and to the world that he can play. That he's a baller, number 9. And he hasn't done it. Like I've said, I mean, I'm not going to say exactly what I said between behind the scenes, but I would say that if you're going to shoot a goal, make sure it's your hardest shot. Don't just do this mamby-pamby stuff. Hit the ball hard and hit it true and hit it accurately. Every time I see him hit the ball, head it, whatever, it's almost like he's patting it. He's not taking it seriously. Well, you see the boys, our boys, the people who play all the time, Saka, rocket. Okay? Odegaard, rocket.
Yeah.
Martinelli, Trossard, rockets. We're not talking about sending a snail to go to we're talking about a rocket. And he doesn't deliver. Sorry. He's got to go.
It's just not on the same wavelength. And Reece Nelson, again, I just don't get him signing, staying on. I just thought go to Brighton, get your minutes, get in the team. I can only imagine they've kept him for the quota, maybe the homegrown quota, possibly. But he's kind of wasted the season.
100%.
And the funny thing is, I think with Reece Nelson, it was always he was out injured, or he always was picking up injury. And it seems like this season he's pretty much, touchwood, he's been fit for most of the season. Because he's always been on the bench, and there's been loads of times where he hasn't been, had any minutes at all, but he's been there on the bench all the time. So it's frustrating in that regards, where we've kind of waiting on this guy to to get himself fit, and he hasn't been. But when he is fit, he's here holding bench, and and obviously the other guy that as well that we will is ESR as well. Another one. What do you think? Do you give him another season next year, or because again he's another one that keeps on getting his injuries and stuff like that, and you wish the best for him because he's Hale End and stuff. I mean, he got 10 minutes today, was it? He got 10 minutes.
Yeah, listen, let's go through these young guys, right? So let's go through Reece Nelson first of all. I think, right, and this is unpopular, that he still hasn't been given enough of a run to judge him yet. I think we have to give him another season. I think we have to, because I know what you're saying. He hasn't, performed, but I'd never see him getting the run. Now, I appreciate that when he's had the run a couple of games, he's not been great, but I still think he needs a run because that's what it took for Saka. Saka took a while to get warmed up. And so did Smith Rowe. You obviously had the picture of Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe. I remember Smith Rowe. I like Smith Rowe. I'm sorry, but I like him. He's injured. Yes, of course. He gets injured. I think he's got a mental block as well. I mean, even that picture of him you had, he's like looking up to, I think he lacks confidence.
Yeah.
But he's a big, strong boy, and he runs direct, which is so rare for our guys. Very rare. Yeah. Most of our guys run sideways. Even our boy Saka runs sideways. He runs sideways. Then we know he's going to do. He's going to cut left. He's going to try and drill forward, and then go maybe right, then left, then go straight across, and then try and whip it in with his left foot. But he runs at people. So I like Smith Rowe. Reece Nelson, Smith Rowe needs to stay. I'm sorry. The people on the bench, I'd say Eddie has to go. Cedric has to go. El Neni has to go. Okay. Jorginho, I'd give him a new contract. Sorry. I think he's a good boy. He's not ruffling any feathers, not desperate to get on. We know he's got some injury. Apparently there's some rumor going around that his hip is done and that he would need a hip surgery, which would end his career. Now that's just a rumor. I don't know if that's true.
All right.
But there's no smoke without fire, right? So he's got constant pain and he's taking medicine. But I think Jorginho's a good boy and he's good to come on. And he just seems part of the group. I think Ramsdale, be nice to keep him, but I think he's going to go. And then there's all just youngsters. But I think the only two people I definitely want gone is Eddie and Cedric. Cedric is pointless. He's not even the type of player that Arteta would ever sign. And Eddie, to be fair, is as well. I mean, I think with the number 9 that he's looking for, Arteta, is the tall, strong, is an Evan Ferguson type. The 6 foot plus kind of guy who's a target man, right?
Yeah, I mean the thing is, it's the Cedric deal is weird because I'm sure Arteta signed him. He signed him on a free, wasn't it, from Southampton? And he got this crazy contract. We signed him on loan to the end of the season, and then he hardly played, and then we signed him and we gave him this huge contract. It was Jarabchin, isn't it? Jarabchin did some Jedi mind trick with
right, one of those ones,
and he got and now no one wants to go near him because his fat contract he's got, and that's why he's gonna run down his contract. I don't know whether it runs out at the end of the season. He's not going anywhere. So he needs to go, and Eddie needs to go.
We can make a profit on Eddie. Let's not be like we've been for seasons and seasons, as we've talked about offline, where we're not getting a penny. This guy is an asset. Let's get some money for this guy.
Yeah, because he's English, and obviously because he's kind of everything that we get will go straight into the coffers as profit because we haven't got to worry about anything because he's homegrown. But it's just the way we don't really do well when it comes to selling players. I know we got 40 million for Balogun, who seems to have dropped off a cliff, really.
Yeah.
So
they always do.
I haven't heard his name at all this season, which is kind of weird. And we're not going to get anything like that for Eddie. But you think one of the teams that might come up, mid to lower table Premier League side might want him, and the only money is in the Premier League now. It's not in Europe. It's not outside of the British Isles, is
No,
it? So it's going to be another Premier League side that he's going to go to, obviously, because of what the contract he's on. But yeah, you're
he'll
right.
want to go Palace, won't he? He'll want to go Palace because he's at Chelsea, then he's come to us. He'll want to go Palace, won't he?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But yeah, I think you're kind of hoping. That's why you're hoping Jesus comes back and he's fit, and then you're relying on him and Trossard in that number 9. Maybe Havertz if needs be, and not Eddie, because the levels are just dropped too much, and unless you see a Cedric, so that's why it goes back round to the whole injury thing. We need these guys back, even though they can't. Yeah. They're not necessarily walk straight into the team. When they are fit, they're there to push the guys out of that bench who make things a little bit.
Put some competition. So, I don't mind that. I would like, and I know this is probably unpopular, I would like to see Jesus leave in the summer, but I don't think he will. I think Zinni is one of the players which I don't mind on the bench or coming on, but I don't think he's an out left back. He can't be a left back. He needs to do a Trent Alexander-Arnold and move more central and fight for one of those places there.
I think in the way it's set up, I think his position would be best suited in that left 8 position.
Yeah,
because he plays for Ukraine as a centre midfielder, attacking midfielder, doesn't he? So and I just think that would be, if you had someone like a Timber or Tomiyasu on that side, I think you could easily play Zinchenko there, and without any problems whatsoever. But obviously, Arteta hasn't had a chance to put that into effect, on a match day. Maybe he's done it in training, who knows? But yeah, again, we're talking about another player injured. Timber, when he comes back, he just opens up so many different
100%.
Patterns and systems for us that we can play on that side. So you're right. It'd be great to have him back at any time, really. But yeah, it's looking like it's going to be next season. You probably end up getting him last game of the season. He might get a 5-minute run out or something.
Yeah, maybe last home game of the season.
So everyone can see him and stuff and let him get the taste again. Because the good thing is he's still involving himself in the squad, isn't he? He's in the dressing room and stuff like that at home.
Still training and still
have you. But
he seems to be doing the same training that Saliba did last season. I remember last season when Saliba was obviously out, that and he posting his video just like Timber is. It all seems very, like light training, nothing too intense. And I'm not convinced he's coming back at all in any shape or form. And like I said, why would we risk a guy like that we spend all that money on and playing when he's not 100%? But yeah, like I said, we'll see. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with Jesus, because when Jesus comes back, he can't just walk into the team and Trossard come off. Trossard is scoring every week.
Yeah. And again, he's another one that I think, if you do get someone else in, probably it's not breaking news, but let's say when Mbappe gets a number 14 shirt, which has been vacated by Eddie, then I think Jesus can be that one on the right hand side to dovetail with Saka, and maybe when Mbappe scored his like 3rd hat trick in a row, then Jesus can slot up front and just see 20 minutes and stuff like that, and play in the Carabao. And you see, I've all got this plan already, man. This is how it's
all figured out. I appreciate your enthusiasm, man. I wish it was true. Oh, that would be the dream. I love it.
We're setting up an Arsenal Bubble GoFundMe.
Heard it
we've
first.
Got some subscribers already, which thank you very much for that. But if we can get a quid or maybe a tenner each, that starts to coffers, put it to Mbappe's wages when he signs and everything. But no, I think
it'd be interesting how that one turns out, because we all know that, obviously first choice is Real Madrid, but can Real Madrid, will they be able to afford that kind of money? I don't know. I suppose they would. They did Bellingham. That must have been stupid money. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the thing is, because he's playing for the people that own PSG, that's the reason they can give him what he's getting at the moment. Exactly. He can't get that anywhere else.
No.
The only place he can go and can get that sort of money would be Newcastle, because obviously they're the richest, club in the world, or Man City because of their endless resources.
Yeah.
They're the only 2 other clubs in the world, and obviously Saudi Arabia, a club over
Yeah.
there. They're the only places where he could go to get the money that he's on. Anywhere else, it's going to be considerably less than that, and it's going to have to be the commercial department doing something with rights or image rights to get what we're going to give you. We're going to lop off a whole lot that you get of that, because imagine if he comes to Arsenal, right? He's just like, again, we're dreaming. Like, if he comes to Arsenal, I'm buying the Mbappe 14 shirt, the home, the away, the third shirt. I'm buying my kids it as well, and replicate that across London, because it's the biggest team in London, and then replicate that across the world. The amount of money that they would generate from that commercial rights. So whoever does it, whatever club it is, they're going to have to be economical in terms of that aspect of okay, your salary is going to be 350,000 a week, and then on top of that, you're going to get. So it can be done. Obviously, KFC has done something with Jokic in basketball, where they gave him this crazy contract as well, which blew everyone out of the water. Which they they actually made a big move there, and they invested a lot of money towards it. I know it's different in basketball, the way they do contracts with salary caps and things like that, but it can be done because again, KFC haven't invested in that way into the club, but they are allowed to do that and then skirt around FFP or PSR rules. If the money is invested in a particular way. So it could be done, but I just think a lot of people are saying, "Oh, he's going to mess up the dressing room and what have you," and his attitude.
That's nonsense.
Yeah, I just think people want to say that about him when everyone that plays with him, all these managers have all said, how the guy just wants to play football. It just seems, he just
I mean, it's all nonsense. The thing about it is that there's a lot of haters out there that their club is not being mentioned, i.e. Man United supporters. I'm going to put it out there, so there's a lot of teams out there who would like Mbappe and they'd like him to be interested. He's only shown any interest in Liverpool and Arsenal. Obviously Arsenal because of the king, and also he actually was in the same club as Saliba, and Saliba's dad knows his dad, and they're all kind of connecting that way. So obviously the French connection's there. So I mean that's obviously going to be the case. And obviously Liverpool, because maybe I don't know what his story is with Liverpool, but Liverpool obviously they would have a new manager, so that kind of kills that idea, because obviously Klopp is attractive manager to work for, of course, but obviously the new manager probably won't want to do that.
Because it will be basically the whole budget, whatever, will go towards that. I mean, I know there won't be a transfer fee as such. It will be just more the contract and everything. But it'll be it's free to dream, isn't it? So
it's free to dream, but you never know. There's been stranger things happen. Let's be honest. So let's just see what happens. I mean, I'm laughing about it, but if it does come into play, remember Arteta didn't deny it when he was asked about it. If it does come into play and we are serious contenders, then obviously they'll make it happen. But I mean, at this stage, it's very much a Real Madrid shoe-in. But if Real Madrid can't do it, then we're definitely front and center.
It'd be interesting to see what happens. And obviously, he did the business last week in the Champions League, didn't he? For PSG, and it's our turn on Wednesday. What's your thoughts about that? Obviously, getting back into the proper big boys football. This is like the last 16 knockout. If you don't step up, you're going home. No away goals rule. And obviously Porto would have had their scouts over watching the last couple of games. What's your thoughts on Wednesday?
Well, I don't think we have anything to worry about. I don't think so. I think they're playing okay. They're third. They're playing actually at the moment. They're 2-0 up, and that's fine in their league. I think they drew the last game and lost the game before that. But they got a red card. I don't know who got sent off. But overall, I think the way we're playing, I think it's going to be too hard to beat us. I think we got too much. We got too many players, and the thing about the English game, which is so different from others, is that the pace we move at, and we just talked about earlier, the energy we've got. They won't be able to keep up with us. And that's why, in many ways, we were so strong in the group stages, because of that intensity that we bring. And that's why City have done so well as well. Just constant. And Liverpool have done well as well, obviously in Europa League though. But the team which have got that intensity and that momentum in the Premier League, there's no one else. That's why the Premier League always seem to be winning the Champions League at the moment for the most part, because we play at a different level to like Portugal or Spain or wherever, Italy, Germany. I don't, even if we, I mean, and I'll say this, even if we play Bayern Munich at the moment, I think we're much better than them by some distance. So I'm not worried about this round, if I'm being honest. I'm worried about the next round where we potentially could meet City.
Yeah. Obviously, you don't want to, look ahead too far. But if we take care of Porto, which we should, hopefully, especially with the second leg being at home, and
I just can't see where they would beat us, because we're defensively the best defense in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So that means we're one of the best in Europe automatically. Everybody's scoring, so it's not just like one person, one mark person.
Keep one person
Everybody's
quiet.
scoring. Our possession is amazing. Our shots on target, we're playing with freedom again. I mean, I just can't see where we've got the weak points.
And then obviously if we get through, then that's obviously where the door opens. You don't really want to play City or Madrid over two legs. If you want to play these guys, you want to play them in a one-off situation where anything goes. You're playing in the final. Something could happen. We saw it against Barcelona. Someone gets sent off. Someone gets sent off, and then the whole thing tilts. Someone has a bad day or whatever, or someone's inspired. That's all it takes. One game. When you got to play these guys over two legs, it's bad enough playing City 2 games in the league. He's played them 2 more times in another competition. And obviously Madrid are Madrid. Maybe we can play them while Bellingham's out. I think he's out for a couple of weeks. And
I'd definitely rather Madrid than than City, because I think over 2 legs City will beat us, but I think over 2 legs we'll beat Real Madrid 100%.
And it looks like Bellingham might get a 10-game ban, I'm hearing, because of what he did, what he said about Mason Greenwood when he said what he said. But apparently, they're saying it's a 10-game ban, So he's either going to be banned or injured or fresh to play against us. Maybe you will see if we get them in the quarterfinals or semis. But so,
what do you think about Porto?
I just think they're one of those kind of streetwise. They'll try and slow the game down a lot. They'll try and buy a lot of free kicks a lot. And I think you're right in terms of the levels that we're at. We're at a completely different level to them. So I think if we go there with the right attitude that we have been the last couple of away games, and the hunger and the focus, I think we should have too much of them. We just need to make sure we don't do anything too silly. Great to keep a clean sheet, but the fact that there's no away goals, it kind of doesn't. You just got to do your job at the other end of the pitch, and we should be fine. But I think we'll take care of business. And then after that, it's you're going to get you're going to get one of the big boys. Inter are in there. Obviously, Bayern. I think he's written for Kane to come back to the Emirates at some point and score his customary goal or penalty against us. Do you know what I mean? The guy can't keep away, and so there might be that as well. But if you're going to win this thing, or if you're going to go well, you've got to, when we got to the final in 06. Who did we play on the way there? Juventus, who no one gave us a chance. We played Madrid, and no one gave us a chance in that, and we went past both of them. So, with the Galacticos, weren't they? With Zidane, Roberto Carlos, Ronaldo, Raul, all of them, over 2 legs, and they couldn't score against us. Imagine that. Imagine that, the Galacticos against us over 2 legs, and they couldn't score against us. So, could be something like that again.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm going to be brutally honest that I only see this season with the Champions League as a financial uplift for the team. Every round you get through, then obviously there's the finances, and that helps massively with buying world-class players.
Yeah.
I don't think we've got enough to win it because we have to focus on the league. I think we're in a much stronger position with the league. I only think of all the games we got left that realistically City will be. We could have draws at United. We may have a draw at other places away, but the only team I think that can beat us is City. Only team, and that's a big if, especially after today. After I saw them today, if that's how they're going to play, we're minimum get a draw. We won't even lose to them. We might even beat them away. So
I think United. We've got United the penultimate game, so we've got them a game before we finish at home. So the dream,
the favorite game. You want to win the league there?
Oh mate, I would either want to win the league there or win the league before we get there, and they have to do a guard of honor. And Ten Hag is out there.
Was that unfortunate the fourth to last game, but imagine it was at Tottenham.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing if we were that far ahead, which we would have been if we beat Fulham and West Ham. It would have been amazing. But I'll take Old Trafford. But Old Trafford's our bogey area. We virtually never win there. We get draws, we lose. Last time we won there was ages ago. We won in the FA Cup, and we just never win there.
Yeah, we've got they've got a thing over us there. But that'd be nice to go there, and get the result to win it again. It'd be amazing. It'd be absolutely amazing. But I think you're right. I think at the moment the way things are, we are the form team, in Europe, and we just need to keep it going. But I think if we're going to try and balance possibly the two of them, we're going to need to get Tomiyasu back. We're going to need to get one or two back as well, just to thicken out the squad. And because you still had a youngster on there. I forgot his name. A youngster on the bench. So
James
again,
Sweet, Mauro Bandera, all these people.
Bandera. Was it Bandera? Yeah, Bandera, Mauro Bandera.
Yeah.
So
James Sweet,
James Sweet as well. So you replace those with a Tomiyasu, and then a Jesus first, and then you've still got El Neni and Suarez on there, and then you replace El Neni with a Party on the bench.
Yeah.
And then, do you know what I mean? So we still need to get that sorted out. But
100%. We're way for thin. That's why I worry about the Champions League. I think if we'd been knocked out of the Champions League, I appreciate that it would have obviously been annoying at this stage. But if we'd been knocked out of the Champions League, we just focus on the league. I think at this stage that we would have won it. We would definitely be hands-on of virtually the trophy. But I think the Champions League will make or break our season. And I mean that, seriously, because we had it with Saliba that time. If we lose any of the people, like I said, the team we've got at the moment can win the league. If any of them get injured, imagine Declan Rice getting injured. Imagine the only person I don't mind getting injured is the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
He can go. That's fine. Even though I hear Teta going on about how much he loves him, I don't mind Raya being injured. All this nonsense about him being amazing. He's just standard. But as far as everyone else is looking at the team, we just can't lose. Okay, we need the left back situation sorted out. Gabriel, Saliba, White, standard. Havertz has been playing well. Fine, he could get injured maybe. Declan Rice, 100% can't. Odegaard, 100% can't. Saka, 100% can't. Martinelli, 100% can't. Trossard is playing brilliantly. So at the moment, no. You know what I mean? You're so right that we need those players back for the Champions League. For the league, it's a different man, but for the Champions League, because like you said, Porto are the dark arts. We know they are.
They'll try and level the game. They'll try and level the game as much as they can. They know that they're nowhere near us. But all you need is
going to get injured.
Someone to do something stupid to someone to wind up Ben White. He'd do a silly thing, and the UEFA refs. The UEFA refs are hot on the English teams anyway. So all of that. So we just need to be calm and bring them back to the Emirates. Either in a lead or and then we just put them to the sword and give them a couple of slaps, and then that's it. You're done. And then we see what happens in the draw for the next round, because we have to be in that. Because I think, like you said, it's going to have a knock-on effect if we we kind of when we've had setbacks, we've taken a little bit of a stumble, haven't we? It's taken us a while to get to shake it out. You know, we don't want something like that happening now because everything's going so well.
Yeah. Confidence is fragile in this game. We know how fragile it is, right? When we got the loss at West Ham, then then next week we lost at home against Fulham. I mean, it's a madness. So we've lost games which we shouldn't have lost, but that's because confidence is fragile. And now look at our confidence. We win one game, smash them. And then every game seems to be a smash and grab. So it's just we know that these guys, apart from the injuries we're talking about, it's a mentality, and I don't even think it's about being young. I just think they just can't believe how quickly we are at the top. You never feel like Liverpool or City feel like almost imposter syndrome, but I do think that Arsenal do have a little bit of that imposter syndrome. That why are we here? How do we get here? Mentality, rather than we're here, we're going to win no matter what.
But I think that was definitely the case probably towards the end of last season. But I think this season, especially with the reset, I'm sure that's something that Arteta's probably said to them. Look at because we know he's done that because of the documentary, how he's used some of the stuff that's in the media and social media, and he's used that feel to get revenge and stuff. Because I think this is what this guy's all about. He's all about revenge and settling scores, and I love that because if I was in issues, I'd be doing that. If someone says something about my club, whether it's on Talk Sport, whatever, or Jamie Carragher stuff, I'm putting. That's what the old school used to do. That's what people like Souness used to do. Yeah, when it was on the old chip paper, the stuff in the newspapers, he used to cut it out and he used to say, he stick it in the dressing room. I look what this guy said about us. He said we're this and we're that, and it'd be up in the dressing room. And then and I'm sure he's doing the same. He's cut off the same cloth, and I would be doing the same thing. If someone comes out and disrespects my club, I say, well, look what this guy said about you. What are you going to do about it? You're going to 100% roll over, or you're going to stand up. So
that's why I think Newcastle game will smash them.
I think any team that's done something to us over the last couple of years, especially last season, we dealt with them, and I think that game as well. Regardless of what happens on Wednesday, we'll be up for that. That and the Villa game as well.
Oh yeah,
they've got to come to ours as well. So I think those games. I think next weekend is going to go off. I think there's going to be a red card there, 100%. Probably be like Guimaraes as well because he deserves to get one last time, but. That game's going to go off. I can't wait for that one. We need to deal with those. They're not. Yeah. But no. Before we'll leave it there, man. Mac, thanks for your time. It's been
a pleasure.
Hours flown by. Great stuff. Just hope we continue this amazing form. Record-breaking stuff from Arsenal. Just throw up a couple of things here about Bukayo Saka. His penalty in the 41st minute was Arsenal's 24th set-piece goal of the season, surpassing our record of 23 that was set in 04-05. And there's loads of games left for us to break that, which is insane. And this is the first time, the result today was the first time we've won our first 5 league games of a calendar year, and the first time we've scored 5 or more goals in back-to-back Premier League away games.
Amazing.
So, incredible stuff, historic stuff. Long may it continue.
Yes.
Amazing couple of weekends from the Arsenal, and all eyes on the Champions League and that anthem and everything else that comes with it. So let's hope we'll go there, get a nice lead in the first leg, and take it back to the Emirates.
Yeah, sounds good.
Matt, thanks very much. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for the support. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you maybe after the Porto game, but if not, it will definitely be after the Newcastle game, which I think it might be a bit of a bloodbath. I think we might be cooking some mad flags, hopefully, that Saturday night. But thanks for everyone. Good, all the best, and come on, you Gunners, let's do it.
Remember, Giroud into the box.